But first, here is Halliday. There's the first pitch, and it's time to play some ball here at Rogers Center in Toronto. So glad you've joined us. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. There is the leadoff man, J.D. Drew, who swings and misses to even the count at 1-1. Roy Halladay, amid all the rumors and the suggestions as to what may lie in his near future, goes to the mound today. And once again, with Drew up, we see the defense shift to the right side.
I talked to Brian Butterfield today about that. I said, what in your scouting reports have told you that this is how you're going to defend against J.D. Drew? He says off a right-handed pitcher, he's hit 2 balls to the left side of the infield all season long.
He's not hitting anything there. He's got questions for Eric Cooper as he walks back to the dugout, a strikeout victim. And Roy Halladay starts well against the leadoff hitter.
No questions here. Backdoor cutter right on the outside part of the plate. Rod Barajas, the veteran, holds it right there for Eric Cooper as he punches out J.D. Drew.
The reception for Halladay when he was announced today before this crowd was long and loud. There have to be a lot of people in the building here today watching across Canada on Sportsnet and wondering how much longer does he play for this team as he faces Dustin Pedroia. Here's a ground ball. It's slowed by Halladay, and Hill eats the baseball. Pedroia is on with an infield single.
If he lets this ball go, Aaron Hill's going to gobble it up and make an out. It worked out nicely for the Boston Red Sox with Halladay getting a little piece of that and kind of slowing it down into no man's land.
Pedroia is all smiles at first base. And a man who has driven in a few runs this year comes to the plate next in Kevin Youkilis. 55 RBIs for Youkilis. He takes strike 1 from Halladay. And the 0-1. Shot down the line and just past a diving Scott Rowland. Here's Lind over to get the carom. Pedroia stops at third on the double by Youkilis.
Kevin Youkilis has been swinging a hot bat for the Boston Red Sox. 8 RBIs over his last 6 games included in that. Now 3 doubles and 3 home runs. Picks on an off-speed pitch from Halladay and just gets it inside the line, down the third base line. It kicks off that wall right to Adam Lind, and that allows Pedroia. He has to stop at third base.
2 in scoring position, 1 away, and David Ortiz comes up. He has faced Halladay many times over the years, and he grounds that 1 foul. In 88 at bats, Ortiz has 24 hits, 5 home runs against Doc, so a .273 average against the Jays right-hander.
Boston Red Sox have the ability to strike early and often in the beginning of a game. They have scored 60 first-inning runs this year.
Line to right field, coming in quickly, Bautista. He comes up throwing. Here's the throw home. It's off the plate, and Pedroia scores.
Make that 61 now, which is their 2nd highest scoring inning all year long. Bautista leads the team in outfield assists with 5, and if that ball could have been on line a little bit more, I think he has a shot at getting Pedroia at the plate.
So David Ortiz on the sacrifice picks up his 50th RBI, and now here's Jason Bay. Halladay working from the stretch. And the pitch is hit in the air to center field. Backing up Rios. Hit well. He's at the wall and he makes the catch. Doc got a little help from his defense and holds the Red Sox to 1. A half inning has been played here in Toronto with the Red Sox on top 1-0. Yesterday winning 6-2. So today we'll focus on Marco Scutaro, who's 6 for 16 career against left-hander John Lester. Adam Lind riding a 10-game hit streak. He's hit 20 home runs this year, bats third. And Lyle Overbay is having a tremendous series. So 3 men to keep an eye on today against a very good left-hander in Lester.
He is entering the second half of the season on a bona fide hot streak. 25-year-old lefty has allowed 3 or fewer runs in each of his past 8 starts. He is a strikeout pitcher. Look at those numbers right there. He is just 21 strikeouts off of his career high that he set last year with 152.
He is averaging over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, and only Justin Verlander and Tim Lincecum of the Giants have a better average in the major leagues. And boy, didn't the Blue Jays figure that one out when they faced him in May. This ball is flied into center field by Scutaro. Ellsbury is there, and there's one away. When Lester faced the Jays on May 31st, he struck out a career high 12.
Followed that up with an 11 strikeout game and then another 11 strikeout game. So you can see why he is averaging about 10 per 9 innings.
He faces Aaron Hill now. Let's look for Hill to get a knock here. He's 0 for his last 15. In a bit of a slump as he faces the Boston Red Sox.
He has had some good at-bats in the last couple of games. Just has not had anything to show for it. Yesterday's game, I thought he had a couple of at-bats, a couple balls that he hit right on the nose that were right at the fielders.
And he made that wonderful defensive play, Pat, to rob George Kateris of a base hit, which tells you he's not taking his struggles at the plate into the field.
So many times you'll see that from young players, but not Aaron Hill. He has the ability of separating himself when he's in that box.
Here's a line shot, but right at Nick Green, the shortstop. It hangs up there enough. And so Hill lines out for out number 2 here in the first inning.
Here's the rest of the defense. Jacoby Ellsbury back in the outfield after a couple of days off that Terry Francona says were intestinal turmoil. In other words, he was a little bit sick. And Jason Varitek, the captain, back in there behind the plate. He means so much to this team. He had the day off yesterday. He's back there catching John Lester this afternoon.
Lester now deals with Adam Lind. Left-hander, right-hander, power pitcher, soft tosser. It doesn't seem to matter to Lind these days.
Yeah, just look at those numbers. Over 300. His 20th home run in yesterday's game. Does not seem to be fazed by who's on the mound. Reliever, long man, closer, starter, lefty. Exactly what you just said. He has that ability to lock in. Lock in on a pitch and stay with it and hit it hard.
Up against a good one here, though, in John Lester. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Adam Lind. Just underway here in Toronto. The Red Sox scored once on a couple of hits and a sacrifice in the first, so they've got the early lead. Here's Lester with 2 strikes on Lind. He gets a third, and that's the inning. 1, 2, 3. The Jays are gone. Off to the second with Boston on top. 1-0. You're watching Blue Jays baseball. Second inning of play here in Toronto. And for the Red Sox, Ellsbury, Varitek, and Kotze. Ellsbury falls behind with a strike from Halladay. In his short time in the major leagues, he's hit 2 home runs against Doc. And a chopper to third. Rolen was playing in and makes the play at first. That kind of play can be troublesome when Ellsbury's up there. He's got such great speed.
Yeah, he could really run and get down that line. Here's the rest of the defense. Lind, Rios, and Bautista with Wells out. Rios has slid back into center field. Scudero, Hill, Overbay, and Rolen around the infield, and Rob Barajas behind the plate. Again, Scott Rolen. That's just knowing the player. Get that scouting report out. Look at the spray charts. Good positioning.
1 pitch and 1 more out for Halladay, and that's the way he likes to do it. Halladay doesn't like to waste his time with strikeouts.
Everybody else likes it too. The players, the fielders, they like to get out there, get into a good rhythm, get into a good pace. When Halladay is on the mound and he's throwing strikes, everybody likes that. I talked to Luke Scott when we were over in Baltimore last week, and I said, boy, you're probably upset that you're missing Halladay in this series. Doc didn't pitch in that series. He said, no way. I said, well, what's your secret? He says, you know what? He does not throw a ball down the middle of the plate. You've got to look on the corners. He's got movement. He stays inside or he stays outside, but nothing is in the middle of the plate, and everything is moving.
And though it's an early sample, the Red Sox are awfully aggressive early in the count here. Jason Bay, first pitch swinging, he flied out. Varitek out on one pitch. Now 3 pitches into Kotsay's at bat, and he rolls one out to center field for a single.
I think that's has to be the offensive mind when you go into that batter's box. You know that Halladay is going to be around the plate. You don't want to fall behind 0-1. So I think you go up there aggressively swinging the bat.
Here's Nick Green, who gets the start in place of Jed Lowry. Green batting ninth for the Red Sox today. 1 on and 2 out, second inning. Swing and a miss. 2 quick strikes.
Terry Francona is going to do that with his infield on the left side in the second half. He wants to give Mike Lowell some more time off, coming off the hip problems that he had. Jed Lowry is back and can't play every day, so he's going to rotate the 3 of them.
There goes Kotsay, and Barajas lets him go. Bit of a delayed steal for Kotsay.
Doc is just so locked in right now on the batter that he forgot a little bit about Kotsay over there at first base. Just gave him one little look. 2 outs. His concentration is on that hitter. Good veteran that Kotsay is. Picked up on that. Saw that he was just coming set and going home. Picked up on it, timed his release, and stole it without a throw.
Halladay has the confidence to know he can get the man at the plate. 2 strikes on Nick Green. Here's the pitch, and he got him indeed. Struck him out, leaving Kotsay at second. No problem with the number 9 hitter. And so he gives up the hit, leaves the man on base, and here come the Jays with Rolen leading off. Handed batter to homer into the 500 level in this ballpark. We've seen a ton of right-handers do it. Delgado, the first lefty.
We saw some big softball hitters do it.
We did.
Before today's game.
They had the long haul bombers putting on an exhibition before this game. Now they're using aluminum bats and juiced up softballs, but there was one after another sailing into the 500 level.
That was fun to watch. I remember that home run that Delgado hit on this day 11 years ago. Andy Pettit took him yard. That is where he hit it. Now, as we pull back, look how far that is. Got to generate some serious bat speed to get a ball.
One long distance. And we've been lucky to witness a 500 level shot this year when Jason Worth, the Phillies all-star, hit one to left. There's a swing and a miss from Scott Rowland. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rowland's batting average .322 against left-handers. It goes all the way up to .360. He's having a time against southpaws this year, but he strikes out against that one.
What do you look for when you face John Lester? Do you look for that cutter, slider, down and in, or do you look for that high heat? That's why this guy is so tough. He doesn't fall into patterns. He's got 4 quality pitches that he can throw at any time. And he's getting better and better and better. Just 25 years old.
And this is just his 2nd full season. And frankly, Pat, he could retire tomorrow and have quite a resume. He's got a no-hitter. He threw one last year against the Kansas City Royals. He won the deciding game in a World Series. So young and so much accomplished already.
Came back from cancer.
Yes, a cancer survivor is John Lester.
Which is probably the biggest win.
There's the 1-1 to Overbay, who's having a terrific series. Overbay is 5 for 8 at the plate as he steps in today against Lester. The Red Sox lefty has retired the first 4, the last 2 by way of the strikeout. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Overbay, and he waits on it. They appeal down to third, but Overbay didn't go around, so it's 3 balls and a strike.
Tells me that he is seeing the ball. When Lyle Overbay can, on a 2-1 pitch, can hold up on a good curveball from a left-handed pitcher, he is seeing that thing.
He waits for the call there from Eric Cooper and is finally granted permission to trot down to first. He works a 1-out walk against Lester.
Here is that scouting report on John Lester. 4 quality pitches, fastball, cutter, curveball change. That breaking ball that he has late life to it. We saw that in the strikeout against Adam Lynn, and he has really been tough on the Jays. 7 career starts versus Toronto, at least 6 innings pitched with 1 run or less in 5 of those games.
Well, here he is against Rios. He drops one over for ball 1. He's manhandled the Jays this year. A 5-0 departure against them at Fenway Park. Took a victory in that one on the 21st of May, and then came back here to Rogers Center and defeated Ricky Romero. So this is his 3rd time against Toronto this season. In fact, since that victory here at Rogers Center on the 31st of May, he's only lost 1 game, and that came against Florida in the middle of June. He gets behind Rios here, though, 2-0. That misses as well.
Game you were just talking about, he threw 5 innings. Let's take a look at what he has done against the Jays this year. 2-0, great ERA. It helps when you get 7 runs a game and take a little pressure off. But he has really been dominant. Some questions with home plate umpire Eric Cooper from the bench. Boston Red Sox. There was some discussion in yesterday's game from some of the Red Sox hitters, thinking that some of the pitches that the Blue Jay pitchers have were right around the plate. That maybe Laz Diaz was a little generous.
Well, we certainly heard Kevin Youkilis giving Diaz the business. Here's a 3-0 pitch coming from Lester. The kick and the delivery, and he misses for ball 4. So he's walked back-to-back hitters after retiring the first 4. As Ricky Romero found out 2 nights ago, you can't walk a whole lot of batters and get away with it. They come back to haunt you.
Unless you're Mark Zebchinski. Yesterday,
That's true.
He had leadoff walks early in the ball game, but he was able to pitch around those walks and wriggle out of trouble and pick up his first big league win.
He opens with a strike against Kevin Millar. Lester historically does not walk many. In fact, his single game high this year is just 3. He's put 2 on here with Overbay and Rios aboard. Kevin Millar, the DH, and the 0-1 pitch that misses inside. Millar is due. He's hitting just 184 over his last 27 games. And he sets for the 1-1. Here's Lester. There's the ball popped up. Heading toward the Blue Jays dugout. Varitek is right there. From his knees makes the catch and takes care of Millar.
I don't care how old Jason Varitek is. He can still catch. He calls a great game. Just works with his pitching staff. I'm so impressed with the way he plays the game of baseball. He knows where he is, how far he has to go, and watch this play right at the last second. Just slip that glove down and get that ball before it hits the ground. Someday he's going to be a good manager if he wants to stay in the game.
Here's a pretty good game caller too. Rod Barajas, the Jays catcher today. And like Millar, he could use a base hit too. Barajas is 0 for his last 20. Gene Tennis was telling me that his old teammate with those great Oakland A's teams of the early 70s, Sal Bando, whenever Bando would get into a slump, he would carry his bats on the plane with him. And those were mostly commercial flights back then too.
He didn't sleep with it, did he?
Didn't sleep with it, but he checked it through security. Try doing that in 2009, taking a bat to the airport. I don't think so.
No chance. You'll be reading about it on the internet.
Yep.
Sal Bando was a notorious hot and cold hitter. Boy, he would be hot for 2 weeks and then be as cold as ice.
1-1 on Barajas. Golf toward left field. Does it stay fair? Yes, indeed. Right down the line. So Overbay is in to tie the game. Rios rounding third. Here's the throw home. It's way late. And the Blue Jays take the lead on a 2-out hit by Barajas. That's how you break out of a slump.
You come up with 2-out base hits. That'll help the confidence. Just a good piece of hitting from Rod Barajas. It looked like Lester was trying to bury that ball on the inside part of the plate, but he's too quick. Gets the barrel of the bat to the ball and hooks it down the left field line softly. I think the whole key for Rios to score was the ball did not hit the wall. Jason Bay had to go in and dig it out of the corner. That took too long, and then with Rios' speed, he's going to score easily from first base.
And so now Jose Bautista, the number 9 hitter, who had the key hit yesterday, and that too was a 2-out double, in to face Lester with the Blue Jays on top 2-1. Barajas had gone quite a stretch between hits, but he picks up a big one here early on and hands the Blue Jays the lead.
Brad Penny said after yesterday's game that the Blue Jay batters are such good fastball hitters. You've got to be able to throw your breaking ball and get them out. The ball that Bautista hit was a curveball. Just hung up in the middle of the plate and he didn't miss it. Lester now in this inning is having problems with his off-speed stuff, throwing it for strikes. Looks like he's carrying the same game plan in that Brad Penny had. Hey, you got to throw more breaking balls, change up, curveball, maybe a cutter, a slider. This time he holds on to it a little bit too long and bounces it up there.
There's a good pitch. He gets it in for strike 2. That evens the count on Bautista. Marcos Scudero's on deck for the Jays in the event Bautista gets on safely. Right now his focus is on Lester, with Barajas taking a leadoff second. Two-two hit in the air into center field for Jacoby Ellsbury. And he makes the catch to put away Bautista. The inning comes to an end, but it's Barajas with a 2-run double, putting Toronto on top. .35 is the most for Halladay against any opponent.
A little bit better numbers here at the Rogers Center, 7-4. Unlike Roy Halladay numbers in the ERA column, both of them over 4.
The Red Sox have certainly given him trouble over the years. Here's J.D. Drew into the shift. This one played by Scudero, and he throws out Drew for out number 1.
See, had him played perfectly.
Absolutely.
It was amazing. I got to look at the scouting, how the Blue Jay coaches scout other teams when they look for tendencies and how other teams have pitched the opposition. You can just call up, okay, let me see all the right-handed batters that have faced a certain pitcher, or the right-handed pitchers that have faced certain batters, and you can then put your defense out there accordingly. It's amazing, with like a couple of clicks of the computer, bam, it's all right there for you.
So for those who wonder what kind of things someone like Brian Butterfield would do, he is the master of this team defensively. And you were in conversation with him before the game, asking him about that play that Rolen made on Drew yesterday that came with 2 strikes. That's down the line and headed for the seats. For those who were watching yesterday, Drew was up there. Rolen was close to third, but then on 2 strikes he backed off closer to second base.
That's right. He was in close to take away the bunt attempt by J.D. Drew, and he doesn't do that a lot, does Drew. He likes to get up there and try and hook that ball to right field, but with 2 strikes and Jesse Carlson on the mound, Jesse quick pitched him a little bit. He wasn't exactly set, but he's still an athletic enough play to record the out.
Overbay, right at the rail, can't get to that baseball. It's out of play. I wonder if you ask Butterfield, was that his decision to move Rolen back, or was that Rolen knowing the spray chart himself?
Well, that's just knowing the situation, the outs, the count, the inning, the whole situation. You don't play in to take away the bunt with 2 strikes because the batter's not going to do it. He's not going to try to attempt to bunt it. Drag bunt with 2 strikes.
Here's a shot to left and a base hit for Pedroia. So he's 2 for 2. Last time he singled, he came home on a sacrifice line shot by David Ortiz.
Pedroia is just so tough. It's hard to pitch him because he covers up all the holes. Fastball is in, changeup's in, whatever. This is his second base hit. He leads the major leagues in 3 hit games this year with 14, and he's just 1 hit away from making it 15.
Kevin Youkilis followed with a double in the first inning. He takes strike 1 from Halladay. Though he hasn't won a game since June the 7th, Halladay still sits among the league leaders. In fact, entering action today, 7 different American League starters have 10 wins. Base hit right field. Bautista's got a good arm, and Pedroia puts on the brakes just past second.
Kevin Youkilis is just a good hitter. You make a mistake inside and he can pull the ball down the left field line or in the gap in left center field. If you pitch him away, he has the ability to inside out pitches. His double yesterday was right down the right field line. Now this time a little flare out into right field. Pedroia has thoughts of maybe going to third. You talked about Bautista's arm. I think his history of playing in the infield, Bautista, quick hands, quick release, helped him right there. That would have been a close play at third base. Pedroia, I think, did the right thing and held up at second.
Big Papi drove in his 50th run of the season with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. That gave the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. Halladay gets ahead of him here with strike 1. Grounded to first. Overbay goes to second. Scudero back to Halladay, and not in time to get Ortiz. Mike Riley down on bended knee with a good look there.
Yeah, Mike's the crew chief. He is in perfect position to make this call. They try to go around the horn here, but you can see from that replay, Mike Riley is correct. David Ortiz hustling down that line just ahead of the throw, tippy toes into first and beats it out.
So the fielder's choice keeps the inning alive for the Red Sox. And their RBI leader, Jason Bay, is up there with men on the corners. Bay went after the first pitch from Halladay in the first inning and drove a ball right to the wall in center field. Halladay required a leaping catch from Alex Rios to make the out. That is down low for ball one. Jason Bay this year has 20 home runs. 15 of them have come with men on base. And on 1-1, he drills it toward right field. And there is Rios. Boy, he paused for a minute there. I think he saw Bautista coming in, but gets to it in time to make the catch. And once again, a long fly out off the bat of Bay gets Halladay out of a jam. Still 2. Canada Trust. And they're watching a good one. 2-1 for the Jays into the last of the third inning. Lester against Halladay. And so far as advertised, it's been entertaining. Marco Scutaro is the Blue Jays leadoff man, 0 for 1. The 1, 2, and 3 hitters coming up against the Boston left-hander.
He had a 1-2-3 first inning, but from then until now hasn't been able to find that release point to make quality pitches. It's like everything is up and away. There's another one. So how do you fix that? Do you move on the mound? Maybe you move over towards the third base line a little bit. Do you let the ball out of your hand a little bit quicker? One of the adjustments that you can make as a pitcher, and I've talked to a lot of pitchers about that, when I say, hey, what happens when you can't find that release point and everything is up and away? Throw a couple of curveballs. That'll help you to get on top of the ball just a little bit more and get that feel back of releasing out in front.
Well, he misses on the first pitch here to Aaron Hill. A 4-pitch walk to Scutaro to lead off the bottom of the third. Now Hill's up there.
Last inning, he had a couple of base on balls, and they both came around to score.
Here's a bouncer back to Lester. He throws to Pedroia covering. Hill's quick enough down the line that he's into first safely. So he's aboard on a fielder's choice, one away.
Good athletic play from Lester. He gets his feet set and throws a strike to Pedroia, and he knows that Aaron Hill can run. He's not going to be able to turn that one, so he just holds on to it.
And back comes Adam Lind, who struck out against Lester in the first. Pat, you raise an interesting point, and there's a catcher's dilemma here too. As Greg Zahn explained to me last year, you walk the line of a pitcher who's not controlling his pitches very well. Do you keep having him throw certain pitches that they don't have a good feel for, so that they can try and get a feel for it,
so they can find it, right?
Or do you just put it in your back pocket?
I think eventually, if you start taking away bullets from a pitcher, meaning taking away pitches from them, hitters are going to catch on to that, and I think you just weaken that pitcher. Maybe you throw a couple of curveballs and you find that release point, and then you go back to the fastball, and all of a sudden the light goes on and you say, hey, I got it, I'm back.
1 ball and 1 strike now to Lind. He shoots this one foul, and that finds its way to the 500 level here. The 1-2.
You don't want to stray too far off of first base. Also, Lester has 6 pickoffs this year, which is tops on the team. Aaron Hill's got a very small lead over at first base. Just trying to get a feel for that throw. You can see he's got 2 feet on the dirt.
Hill goes. Veritek throws, and Hill is in there safely. That wasn't even close.
This one was stolen off of John Lester. I think he baited him with that short lead over at first base. 2 feet on the dirt, and he goes on first movement. Veritek has thrown out just 10% of the base runners trying to steal against him. But that one was stolen against John Lester, going on first movement. He picked on a good pitch also, breaking ball.
A savvy steal by Hill puts him in scoring position, but Lind strikes out, going down on strikes for the 2nd time against Lester. And that's the 2nd out of the inning.
Good late life to a breaking ball, down and away. Tough for a left-handed batter to lay off of that one.
With 2 gone, Scott Rowland is back up there. Rowland struck out as well when he faced Lester in the 2nd. First pitch to Rowland, a breaking ball for strike 1. Perhaps Lester is starting to get his feel back.
His last 2 curveballs have been very good. The one to strike out Lynn, and then strike 1 here to Rowland.
The All-Star takes his lead at 2nd. Lester comes to the plate, down. That's ball 1. The Red Sox got on the board first in the 1st inning, but the Blue Jays came back with a pair after Lester walked 2 in the 2nd. Barajas doubled them home. And in the bottom of the 3rd, the Jays lead by 1, looking for more here with Rowland, and he fouls it back 1-2. The Blue Jays have had the benefit of having this man in the lineup pretty well every day. He's been healthy all year long. Last year missing most of the 1st month of the season. And he's been producing, hitting well over 300.
Cito's done a good job of protecting him, giving him days off, day games after night games.
There's a fly ball into short center field. Ellsbury hurries in, makes the catch, and that's the inning. So after 3 here in Toronto, it's the Blue Jays 2 and the Red Sox 1. Baltimore here, and to talk it up, you can talk live with Joe Carter on BlueJays.com. A live web chat comes your way this coming Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So get online with Joe Carter and get excited about the upcoming reunion of the 92 and 93 World Series teams taking place here August 7, 8, and 9. If you're on the website, you can already find a schedule of autograph sessions. Pat, they have you teamed with Devon White.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. In section 536 on the 7th of August. That's the Friday night game against Baltimore. Jack Morris will be here. Pat Henkin, Paul Molitor, Candy Maldonado, Woody Williams. All your friends are coming back.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that little bit of info right there. I didn't,
know
that. I guess I need to check the website.
There you go. Here's Ellsbury, a hard grounder to Hill. He plays it easily and throws out number 46. Well, Halladay, as you know, now stuck on 10 victories. There are 2 American League pitchers with 11 wins, and both play for the Red Sox. Josh Beckett has 11, and Tim Wakefield, who is like the Energizer Bunny. He just pitches and pitches and pitches.
Shows you the type of first half that Roy Halladay had. Fastest to 10 wins. It's been sitting there now for about
a month and a half.
5 weeks, 6 weeks now.
Yeah, that he can go that long on 10 wins tells you how good of a year it's been for him. And so deservedly starting the All-Star game for the American League.
It really hasn't pitched poorly since coming off the DL, but he doesn't really have anything to show for it. He lost to Tampa when he threw 6 innings and just gave up 2 earned runs. That was a loss. New York, you got that game. Gave up 5 earned runs against the Yankees in 7 innings. But then came back against Tampa, and this was more like Roy Halladay. 7 innings, 3 earned runs, no walks. When you come off the disabled list, sometimes your control is not there. We saw that 5 walks for Halladay in 2 starts when coming off the DL.
He just struck out Jason Varitek. The captain goes down swinging for out number 2.
And he had 8 strikeouts in that last start, but he still lost 3-2 to Tampa. This is more like Halladay with the strikeouts. His 3rd one of the day. Good hard fastball down and away. And Varitek swings right through it.
There's Mark Kotsay now. He rolls this one to Hill. And Halladay needs just 10 pitches to retire the Red Sox here in the 4th inning. To the bottom half with the Blue Jays up by 1. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sports. August against the Yankees, and the first two in a weekend set against Baltimore, August 7 and 8. And August 7th, the Friday night, is the big night. And here's a look. There was a look at some of the players who you will find if you're looking to get an autograph or a conversation. We'll get you that information in just a moment, as Lyle Overbay begins the Blue Jays half of the fourth inning, facing John Lester. He falls behind 0-2. So here is a look for the Friday game against the Baltimore Orioles. Signing sessions go for about 45 minutes, so make your plan on who you'd like to see, who you'd like to talk to. Those are the section numbers on the left.
They got the pitchers together.
Yep.
Got the hitters together. That ball is rolled fair as Overbay grounds out to Mark Kotsay.
Rob Butler gets to sit with a Hall of Famer, Paul Molitor. That should be fun for Rob. Here's Alex Rios with one away. Bottom of 4. Alex walked and scored in the second. John Lester has walked 3 batters today, and 2 have scored. Overbay and Rios in that 2-run inning.
He just goes out there and wins ball games. Keeps his team in games. Gives them a chance to win. He has pitched in 78 career games, and he's won over 70% of them. 35 and 14 coming into this game, which is tops among active AL pitchers. So when you break it all down, you talk about stuff and you talk about this and that about starters. Do they win? And it's an emphatic yes when John Lester is on the mound.
Pitching for this team with this kind of run support, you would have to think that this young man is going to win himself a Cy Young Award at some point.
That's a great point. You know, you've got Josh Beckett that you're going to pitch behind, Daisuke Matsusaka. Veterans. Guy that maybe gets lost in all that is John Lester, but I'll match his numbers against anybody.
He opens this confrontation with Kevin Millar with a strike. Millar 0 for 1 today. And the 0-1 pitch from Lester. In at the ankles for ball 1. Lester was 16 and 6 last season. And this really is only his second full year in the major leagues. As he deals the 1-1, and it's tapped out in front of the plate. Lester better hurry that throw. It's high and wide, so Millar is safe.
I think that ball fooled Jason Varitek, the catcher. Normally when it's that close to home plate, the catcher will call off the pitcher. He's got a better angle out. He can kind of round into that ball and make the play. This ball goes off the mound, or excuse me, goes off the plate and goes straight up, and there's John Lester to make the play. And the throw pulls off Kotsay at the bag.
Well, as Rod Barajas steps in, let's get a word now from Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, Jason Varitek, the captain, obviously a very vocal guy, but making no inroads at all to try and call off Lester on that play. And you could tell from where I'm sitting here in the scout seat, the backspin on that ball actually brought the ball back towards Varitek. Would have been a much easier play, but that's not the case in this situation.
Yeah, I think that's why it fooled him, Sam. It bounced off the plate, and it looked like it was going to roll out towards home, or excuse me, out to the pitcher's mound. But the backspin brought it back. By then, it was too late.
And they've changed the scoring, too. It now goes as an error charged to Lester. Perhaps for the throw to first. That one's got you confused.
That's got to be a hit. It's got to be a hit, right? You're at home, number one. It's a tough play. And you can't assume that he was going to beat the throw.
There's still time for it to change again.
We've seen that a few times.
Yeah. But that also tells you just how important those 2 walks were that the Blue Jays were able to generate in the second inning. They have only 1 hit in this game, and it was a 2-run double by Barajas with 2 out after Overbay and Rios had walked. Toronto has the lead. Here is Barajas. 2-strike pitch, and he fights it off. A little flare out toward the TD Canada Trust comfort zone. We always say Rod Barajas is a good low ball hitter, and you saw that with his double in the second.
He was able to get the barrel of the bat to a ball that looked like it was really starting to come inside. Go down and dig it out and rip it into that corner for 2 runs.
A long delay, excuse me, and there's an air ball because Eric Cooper had signaled timeout.
Timeout. Yeah, I think Rob Barajas asked for timeout from Eric Cooper just before John Lester let go of this ball. You can listen, and you can see he calls timeout, and then whoops.
A kick in the pitch, a little looper into left field, and Barajas has done it again. A base hit pushes Millar to second. Barajas 2 for 2. He has the only 2 hits of the game for the Blue Jays.
Same type of pitch, same type of swing, same result for Rob Barajas. They try to go back inside again, and he's too quick in there. Gets the barrel to the ball, hits it softly in the left field for another hit.
First and second, 2 out. Jose Bautista. And Lester bounces 1. Two and 0.
Time to dial in right here for Jose Bautista. He's a good fastball hitter. He's got himself in a fastball count now. He might come out of his shoes if this is anywhere near the plate.
And
it's
often
a number
does.
1. That's right.
Let's see what he decides. He waits on it. 3 and 0 now. Three balls and no strikes on Bautista. Hitters count right here. Here is the pitch, and it misses for ball 4. John Lester has done something today that he has not done all season long, and that is walk 4 hitters.
That's why you're going to see John Farrell, the pitching coach for the Boston Red Sox, go out there and talk to his young lefty. Maybe he sees something here in his delivery, the way he is going towards home plate. You can see John Farrell's doing all the talking.
This has been a grind after looking so good in that first inning, getting a quick 1-2-3. Lester has not had it easy. Walking 4, giving up a pair of runs in the second. And with 2 out in this inning, he committed a throwing error, gave up a single to Barajas, now walks Bautista to load the bases for Marco Scutaro.
I think we have to give the Blue Jay batters credit here, being very patient, recognizing that Lester is having trouble throwing strikes. Don't help him out. Don't go up there and just start hacking at everything. They've been patient, and they are in a great situation here. A big base hit would open this thing up.
Hacking is not Scudero's style. He is third best in the American League with 59 walks this year. Only Jason Bay and Carlos Pena have walked more often than Scudero.
And a third of his RBIs have come in this situation right here. Bases loaded. 6 for 12 this year with 11 driven in.
1-1. And now a ball and 2 strikes. If you've watched enough of Scudero, you know he's unfazed by batting with 2 strikes. Millar, Barajas, and Bautista on base for the Blue Jays. Here's the lefty. Now 2-2. One more ball from Lester and things are really going to get interesting.
Be like a merry-go-round out there with the runners running.
Lester taking his time here. Gets his signs from Veritek and readies for another 2-2. Here it comes. And it's hit to right field, but foul by Scudero.
We've talked the last couple of weeks about Rob Barajas' hamstring problem. I'm watching him and see how he's running out at second base. He's getting a huge lead. Huge secondary lead. So he has a shot at scoring on a hard ball hit to the outfield. Defense is playing back.
He's well off second as the pitch goes right back to Lester, and he walks it over to first to get Scudero and gets out of this little pickle in the 4th inning. Helped spearhead the drive, the food drive for the Daily Bread Food Bank. And now you come up here, Brandy, wearing this shirt.
I know.
And what's this all about? I don't know how closely we can get in on this, but explain it to us.
There's a little girl over in my suite who has type 1 juvenile diabetes, and her whole family here. There's a bunch of kids over there today that are just amazing. This is Ileana. And this is a group called Ileana's Troops, and they're raising awareness and funds for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, which is jdrf.ca.
jdrf.ca.
So she brought me a shirt and a card, and I threw it right on.
Now she's over in Doc's box.
Yes, they are. They're all over there having a good day.
Great stuff. As we watch your husband go to work here on the number 9 hitter, Nick Green. Our guest is Brandy Halliday on what appears to have been a very successful weekend for the Daily Bread Food Bank. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's fouled away. You were not very optimistic when you came up here on Friday, but things have changed a little, I guess.
Yeah, that first day I was a little bit nervous, but so many people came to me Saturday and said, I saw you on TV, I saw you on TV. So thanks to you guys for putting me on, and thanks to fans for watching and for really pulling in those last 2 days. Today was unbelievable.
Pat brought a bag full of stuff in yesterday.
You guys did. You guys, everybody went above and beyond, and I appreciate it so much.
Do we have any numbers? I
know
it's
what?
early. And
I don't have any hard numbers. We'll have that next week for sure. But one of the food bank representatives that was here told me every stand that we had 3 of these big barrels. Each barrel holds about 2.5 tons of food, he said. So when I look at that and I start counting it up, I go, oh, wow. And today, all 3 of our barrels were overflowing, and the ground was covered in bags of food. It was pretty overwhelming. I was excited.
I'll tell you the impact you had. As I was driving in yesterday, I saw a grocery store near here as your husband just struck out Nick Green. And there were some Boston Red Sox fans walking by, and they said, guys, go in there, get some food, and bring it to the game today.
Yeah, thank you.
Now here comes Terry Francona.
I don't think he has an argument, because Rod Barajas did an outstanding job of going down and getting that foul tip. Terry Francona is arguing, saying that that ball hit the dirt. Nick Green right away thought it hit the dirt. But watch Barajas with his quick hands go down. That ball did not hit the dirt.
Not even close.
Picked it right out of there. Foul tip and a catch.
Now Mike Riley, the crew chief from First, is coming over to join in on the conversation. But the replay, as you saw, clearly shows that Barajas got the glove down. And so Halliday has his second strikeout of Nick Green.
Terry might be asking Mike Riley, the crew chief, what did you see? And I think he came right in and said, hey, I got the same call as Eric Cooper. He caught the ball. It's a strikeout. Let's go. That's Nick Green making all the
I looked behind me. I thought I
racket.
knocked some over. I didn't know what that was.
That was the bat rack getting abused. And Green is not a happy man right now as J.D. Drew steps up there. So what's next for you, Brandy? I mean, here you are involved in all of these charities.
Yeah.
What's on the plate? I mean, is there anything else we can look forward to?
Gosh, Doc's Box, that's my big thing. I'm trying to make it bigger and better and more often. That's why Ileana's Troops are here today for juvenile diabetes. I love the opportunity that I have to do as much as I can in this community, and Doc's Box is one of those ways. I want to bring in different groups, different people, different venues of life, and not just people who are struggling, but people who have done great things in the community too. So that's my project for now.
Any ideas how to grow it?
Oh, I have 1,000 ideas.
Do you?
It's
Coming
just
on here once a
getting
week
them out.
helps.
I love being with you guys. This is great. No, you know what? As soon as I said it, there were people in the suite that, kids that were there from Doc's Box a couple weeks ago that had ideas of groups. So I think it's going to be very easy to grow.
Do they sign up for that, or how does that work?
The Jay's Care Foundation takes care of all of that. There's people in this organization that are unbelievable, that are working nonstop to promote these types of programs and to grow them and make them better and bigger and touch more children. So those people are behind me working nonstop.
We enjoy looking up there from time to time, say 40 minutes before a game, and seeing Roy in uniform. Right?
Yeah, he
so
comes
you get up and you enjoy the box, and you're thinking this is a great day, and the next thing you know, Doc himself walks in uniform and starts posing for pictures. And
unfortunately, he couldn't do it today because he's pitching.
No.
But whenever he's not pitching, he's up there.
People will understand today.
They do.
Why he can't be up there.
Here's a 2-2 to J.D. Drew. That's low for ball 3. What are you telling us? He's focused on game day?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You know, and it's good. I mean, I love how strong he is, how dedicated he is to doing his job well. So I absolutely respect that and love that about him.
Here comes the payoff. Taken foul. Now, recently, during a televised auction here on Sportsnet, a gentleman from London, Ontario, I believe, bought 2 pitching lessons and gave them to a couple of the kids from the Rookie League program. And so here is Roy on Friday teaching a couple of youngsters how to pitch. What a thrill.
You know, and the man was so kind. He and his wife donated that time back for those kids.
They paid a lot of money for those sessions and could have used it themselves, but said, you know what, there are a couple of kids I'm sure who could use this more than I could.
They gave it back to the Blue Jays, and they brought in 2 kids from our Rookie League. It was an unbelievable experience for those 2 boys. I went down and I met them all too. I couldn't stand it. I ran down so I could meet everybody. But they were great, so appreciative, and had such wonderful things to say. And once again, that's the Blue Jays touching the community in a way that I don't think many people know that they do. They're always out there trying to affect the lives of those kids. I think it's fantastic.
Now, how was St. Louis?
Insane.
Did you go?
I went. Busy, a lot of talk, a lot of speculation.
Well, you knew that was coming.
I did, but it was good. It was stressful. It was exhausting. It was exciting. It was everything that you can imagine it would be.
And did your boys enjoy it?
They always do. They love it. Sitting down there for that home run derby, that experience, I think that's the reason that we go. It's obviously an honor for Roy to be chosen. His priority is obviously pitching for the Blue Jays, but those little boys sitting on that field is what makes it worthwhile. So
it never gets old going to an all-star game, I guess, huh?
Not for them.
Yeah. Now, do they get to go out there and shag in that home run hitting contest?
No.
No?
No, not my boys are too little still, I think.
Okay.
Well, we enjoy your work in the community, Brandy, both you and Roy, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you guys very much for all your support and everything that you did for
Thank you for everything you do.
That's Brandy Halliday as her husband and the Blue Jays lead the Boston Red Sox.
Putting you in the comfort zone.
Back underway at Rogers Center, bottom of the 5th inning. It's the Blue Jays 2, the Red Sox 1. This is Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. Joined in the booth by our stats man Scott Carson. And lucky to have Brandy Halliday join us for a while too. She does such tremendous work for the community, helps benefit so many different charitable organizations, lends a helping hand to the Blue Jays Care Foundation.
Was not aware of all the things that they do. That's great.
There goes Hill. He turns away in disgust, striking out at the hands of John Lester.
Number 5 of the afternoon for Lester. Breaking ball. He wants it inside, but he wraps it around the outside corner and gets the call from the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper, right on the black. See, sometimes you can miss your spot and still come out smelling nicely.
With one away, here's Adam Lind again, 0 for 2. He struck out twice. Adam is hoping to extend a hit streak that now sits at 10 games. Lind always looks so relaxed at the plate.
Doesn't matter if it's a righty or a lefty. And I think Adam Lind is going to get better and better. How do you improve on the numbers? Well, maybe it's not the numbers. Maybe you hit, instead of 303, you're up to 323. Same type of power, same type of production. The extra base hits, the RBIs. Maybe you knock in a couple more runs with a couple of more base hits. I don't think this is an aberration right here. I think this is what you're going to see from Lind from now on.
1 and 2, and Lester has confounded him today. He strikes out for the 3rd time.
All of them on breaking balls from John Lester. This one out of the strike zone. Has Adam Lind fishing for it.
Lester's a strikeout specialist. He struck out 6 in the ball game today. Half of those have victimized this man, Lind. And so with 2 out and nobody on, here's Scott Rowland again. Rowland is 0 for 2. He goes after the first pitch and fouls it away. The Blue Jays this season have really struggled against their counterparts in the division. Just 10 wins and 20 losses against the American League East. Here's a fly to right center field. Drew is over. He calls off Ellsbury, makes the catch to record the out, and the Blue Jays go down 1-2-3 in the 5th inning.
Four walks that John Lester has had today, that might come back to haunt him a little bit, and that he might not be able to go as long as Terry Francona is hoping for. Blue Jay batters have been very patient when Lester is on the hook.
Here's Rowland. He takes the one hopper and throws out Youkilis, who's out for the first time. Youkilis was 2 for 2 coming into that at bat. So he's gone on one pitch, and Halliday prepares to work against Big Papi David Ortiz.
Marco Scudero is getting his sprints in today with the shifts that they have shown against the Boston Red Sox. J.D. Drew at the top of the lineup, then a couple of right-handers, and he goes back to short, and now with another big left-hander up there, he sprints over to straightaway second base. David Ortiz is hitting .222. If you go back and look at the charts where he has hit the ball, I bet you he would be hitting about .280 if people played him straight up. That's how many hits I think the shift that these teams are using against him have taken away base hits.
Let's get more on this from Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, Pat, I think you also have to credit the pitchers too, that when you're in a shift, it's essential, at least partly thereof, to execute pitches in order to have balls hit into that shift.
No question there, and that one is slapped toward left center field, and Ortiz has a base hit. So he goes to the opposite field and gets a one-out single.
His job is to drive in runs. If you're going to give up base hits to David Ortiz, that's the type of hits you're going to give up. Line drives the other way. You'll take that. Just keep it in the ballpark.
And what this does is put a man who doesn't run that well at first, with a man on the mound who is awfully good at inducing the ground ball, as Halliday faces Jason Bay. Bay is 0 for 2, flying out deep to center field both times. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and a shot to third stays fair. Ortiz is out at second on the fielder's choice.
A little bit more speed on the bases now with Jason Bay. No chance to turn that double play. Hill gets out of the way from David Ortiz, coming in hard at second base.
Here is Jacoby Ellsbury.
Ellsbury started the season as the leadoff batter for the Boston Red Sox, but Terry Francona feels that he is better suited now as the season has gone along to move down in the order. He has hit sixth now just 7 times this year. Take a little pressure off. Maybe he can develop just a little bit more as a big league hitter, and then eventually will move into that leadoff spot. In those 7 games that he has hit here in the 6th spot, Red Sox are 6-1.
He gets jammed and flares it out to right field, but it's foul. 2 strikes now on Ellsbury. There's a happy young man as Ellsbury makes his way back to the plate. You know, his first hit in the major leagues came in June of 2007 against Texas. And Michael Young, then the shortstop for the Rangers, wants to take partial credit for him. He was playing short on that day, had never seen this kid at the plate before. And Ellsbury bounced the ball in his direction, and he said, I picked up the ball, shuffled my feet a little bit, looked at first, and the next thing you know, he's on the base. And my throw was a little late. Jason Varitek looked at Young a little later on in the game and said, you should have seen your face when you looked up.
He can really, really run. 40 stolen bases, back-to-back seasons. Something that hasn't been done in Red Sox history in a long, long time.
Down in the count here, though, 0-2. And he slaps that one down the line foul. The single season stolen base mark for the Red Sox is Tommy Harper's 54. And Ellsbury is sitting on 40 right now. Here he's just trying to keep the inning alive. An 0-2 pitch, and he pops it up. Here's Roland. Ross is right there to give him a little credit. And Roland makes the catch for the out. 6 innings of work for Doc, and he leads by 1. This club gets a day off tomorrow and then starts a 3-game set with Cleveland here in Toronto on Tuesday. And then Tampa Bay comes to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So after this one, 6 more to be played on the homestand. And then it's off to Seattle for 3 and off to Oakland for 3. John Lester, the 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball that hangs up there for Overbay. He punches it to left center field, cut off quickly by Ellsbury, and Overbay with a double. A good way to start the 6th.
That is Lyle Overbay's strength right there, especially against a tough lefty pitcher in John Lester. Stay on the ball, double clutches against that curveball and drives it to left center field. Hard, no chance for Ellsbury to cut that ball off and make a play. A double for the Blue Jays. We saw Rod Barajas's double earlier, and that streak continues.
Now at 23 consecutive games, this club has managed to double in 23 in a row. The lead man is in scoring position, and Alex Rios is 0 for 1. He grounds it to left. A base hit. Overbay puts on the brakes at third. Rios with his first base hit of the game, and the Blue Jays are in business in the 6th inning.
No running into an out. Leadoff double and then a single to left field. Jason Bay is very quick to get to the ball. He is very accurate with his arm. He's got 9 outfield assists, which is #1 in the American League, as Rios pulls that ball by Green, the shortstop, who was playing behind the runner, anticipating Rios to hit the ball to the other side of the infield, but he crosses him up, pulls it into the hole. And you're right, the Jays are in business.
Back comes Kevin Millar, who reached on an error in the 4th inning and fouled out in the 2nd. You know, Alex Rios is penciled in as the center fielder for the 3rd straight game. Originally, Vernon Wells had his name scribbled in to that position today, but Wells showed up at the ballpark still terribly ill as Rios breaks from first. Varitek, the throw is high, and now Rios with that stolen base moves himself into scoring position.
Big jump again against John Lester. The throwdown, you see Pedroia come in, and Pedroia is going to cut that ball off, anticipating that they might have a double steal. Was time called? Is that why Cito Gaston is out there and Alex Rios is going back to first? Was time called?
It may have been.
I don't know if he agrees with the explanation from Eric Cooper.
He does now. Let's take a look at that last pitch.
No signal from Chuck Merriweather, the second baseman. I think there was time called.
Well, Cooper comes out and asks Rios to go back to first, but there was no indication from behind home plate that time had been called. So take away that stolen base, put Rios back there at first, and now Millar faces a 2-ball and 1-strike situation. Lester has only allowed 4 base hits today. 3-1 now on Millar. 2 of those hits have come from Rod Barajas, and he just happens to be the man standing on deck.
Yeah, don't help him out right here. Make him through via fastball.
Rios is back to the bag at first. And he draws another throw. Comes to the plate this time, and it's popped up by Millar. Pedroia goes back and makes the catch. Overbay can't go anywhere, and so that's the first out of the 6th. Kevin Millar's struggles continue. Rod Barajas, on the other hand, broke out of an 0 for 20 with an RBI double in the 2nd. He singled in the 4th, 2 for 2, as he faces Lester once again.
Lester has that ability to get you out top of the strike zone because his fastball kind of explodes towards the plate. If you're going to hit that high fastball, you got to get gear, you got to be quick, and you got to get it on top of it. We've seen that from Rob Barajas here this afternoon, getting the barrel out.
Here's a flare in foul ground down the right field line. Well, Lester is now pushing 100 pitches. He's thrown 97 to this point. And so, not surprisingly, the Red Sox bullpen has become active. Runners at first and third. Fastball inside. The right-hander is Manny Del Carmen. Here's the 1-1, and Rios takes off. He slides in easily. Veritek seemed to lose control of the baseball and was also keeping an eye on Overbay at third.
No timeout that time.
Nope.
Yeah, he did. I think he thought Veritek, look at him glance towards third base. Ever so slightly. Might have thrown off the timing. He didn't have a grip on that ball. Even if he did, he was not going to throw him out.
Big cut from Barajas. And it's now 2-2. That was a home run swing.
Saw that breaking ball. Came out of his shoes. Infield in now for the Boston Red Sox. They don't want to give up any more runs as that ball bounces in front of home plate. Jays will probably not play contact here if there's a ground ball to the infield.
Belted to center field. Ellsbury backtracks. Overbay tags at third. And in comes Overbay. Rios advances to third. The Blue Jays now lead it 3-1. Boy, what a day for Rod Barajas. He has driven in all 3 runs.
And he has half their hits. Good 2-strike approach right there from Barajas. Shortened it up a little bit. Curveball, he swung hard. That time he shortened it up and made enough contact and drove it deep enough to center field to pick up the 3rd run.
Bautista now with 2 out. Swings at the first one. Pops it down the line. Kotze goes out and makes the tough catch. So that ends the inning, but the Blue Jays pick up 1 and lead the Red Sox 3-1. World Series teams will be honored on that Friday night when the Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles. And you can look at BlueJays.com to find out where and when certain players will be meeting with fans, signing autographs. It is like one giant edition of Flashback Friday is what it is. As Jason Veritek pops up the first pitch. Hill is under it. And we're still scratching our head a little bit about the call that brought Rios back from second. Is there umpire interference here? Is that a possibility?
I think it is. Eric Cooper staying right in there. Yeah, he gets hit on the back swing or the back throw from Veritek.
So finally the mystery is solved. Strike 1 on Kotze. Now 2 strikes. Roy Halladay is one of 12 pitchers to start a game for the Blue Jays this year. He has 2 strikes on Kotsay, and that is in the dirt. By comparison, last year the Blue Jays used 8 starters all year long. They have used 12 different men in that role this year.
And where did they finish last year in starters ERA?
Number 1.
Number 1.
Strike 3 called. Down goes Kotsay. And Halladay is on the mark this afternoon.
Everybody knows that the Boston Red Sox like to go up there and they like to work that pitcher, but you can't do it against a guy like Roy Halladay, not when he's getting calls like this. Backdoor cutter. He's going to get that call right on the outside corner.
So from Kotsay, that must be part disagreement and part frustration.
Little paintage.
Yep.
He made a good pitch.
He's had no problem with Nick Green today, striking him out twice. 0-2 now as Mike Riley calls a strike. And now Green walks away quietly. There are scouts aplenty in the seats today from different teams across the major leagues watching this performance. And he just struck Green out again. This city loves Roy Halladay.
Francona knows that, the manager of the Boston Red Sox, and he's got some work going on in that bullpen. If Lester runs into trouble here in the bottom of the 7th, we'll probably see a quick hook.
He will face Marco Scutaro, Aaron Hill, and Adam Lind. Scutaro grounds this one. Green backhands the ball and throws him out at first. We talked about the Blue Jays' record against American League Eastern teams, just 10-20 coming into today's ball game. In direct contrast, the Red Sox have 23 wins and 10 losses against their division rivals. So this would certainly be a big win if they can pull it off against the Red Sox today. Hill flies out to center field for out number 2.
And Jamie, it doesn't get any easier for the Toronto Blue Jays. They're scheduled the rest of the way. A lot of American League East opponents, so they have to be on their A game. Look at the 70 games left, split evenly just about home and road, but look at the games versus teams with records with 500 or better. 51 of their 70 games left against teams with winning records.
And so many Eastern Division teams because the schedule was heavily front-loaded with teams from the Central and from the West. In fact, the Blue Jays didn't even face a team from their own division until the 1st of May. John Lester today has owned Adam Lind. Let's see if Lind can get him here. 2 balls and no strikes. He has struck out 3 times.
And he's sitting on a 10-game hitting streak also. He is finally ahead in the count against Lester. I believe this is the first time all day.
His average has dropped 3 points from 305 to 302. He takes another pitch there for ball 3. So he certainly worked the count in his favor with 2 out here in the 7th inning. Now the count is full, and we'd like to wish a happy belated 90th birthday today to Edith Wormington, who's watching in Kingston, Ontario. Enjoying this one, no doubt. 3-1 for the Jays. Bottom of 7. And Lester on the hill for the Red Sox with a payoff pitch to Lind. Breaking ball, shot to left field, and it's trouble for Bay. Up against the wall. Lind into second with a double, and his hit streak's now at 11. So after 3 prior at-bats in which he struck out, he finally gets to the Boston lefty.
Just a great at-bat right there from Lind against a tough left-hander. He closes out his previous 3 at-bats were not very good. Gets a 3-2 breaking ball and rips it up the alley in left center field. Fun to watch young hitters like that get better and better against good pitching and then come out on top.
And Lester was getting the strikeouts early with that pitch away, but he couldn't get Lind on that one.
On that one, he thought he was going to trick him, throwing him a 3-2 curveball. Caught too much of the play. That was a hanger. And Lind did not miss it.
And now the clock ticks on the young left-hander. He got another visit from his pitching coach, John Farrell. Lester has thrown 111 pitches and faces Scott Rowland, who's 0 for 3. Rowland hits this ball in the air into left field. Bay comes in and he makes the catch. Might have been a little interference there from one of the fans in the front row, but it didn't faze the pride of Trail, British Columbia. in the rubber match of a 3-game series. Roy Halladay continues to work a terrific game against the Red Sox. He's allowed just 1 run on 6 hits. As J.D. Drew pops it foul, Barajas is there, and Drew is gone. He's now 0 for 12 in this series. Keep in mind, if you love this game, you can watch 100 out-of-market games every week live on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the highest quality of live baseball available on the internet. For details, please visit BlueJays.com, where baseball is always on. Number 2 hitter Dustin Pedroia now 2 for 3. He's singled twice, flied out once.
That's tough for a second batter coming up in an inning late in the game. Close game. Batter swings at the first pitch ahead of you, and you've got to take a strike. That doesn't seem to affect Dustin Pedroia.
Here's a looper to right field, and Bautista makes a running catch. He might have misjudged that initially, Pat.
Thought that it was hit a little bit harder by Pedroia, but it was off the end of the bat. He goes back, but then in a full sprint, makes up some space and takes away a hit.
Two gone, and Kevin Youkilis now. Roy Halladay is keeping this one economical. He's thrown 86 pitches with 2 out in the 8th inning. His last victory, June 7th, against the Kansas City Royals, was a complete game 7-hitter. His win before that against the Angels was a complete game 7-hitter.
Check out the strikeouts in that Angels game. Remember that?
14 strikeouts.
And it looks like he's feeling and smelling that finish line. Gave up a single to Ortiz on an 0-2 pitch in the 6th inning. That's the only base runner the Red Sox have had since the 3rd inning.
One ball and 2 strikes on Youkilis. The crowd wills him on, and the pitch is high.
I like one of the things that Halladay said after one of his starts. He said Rob Barajas gets very creative back there during the game. He's got a good feel for what can work in certain situations. Everything working this afternoon.
Roland throws to first. It's dug out by Overbay, and Halladay has gone 8 strong innings against the Boston Red Sox. They maintain a 3-1 lead today on Rogers Sportsnet. Dodgers Plus locations. Basket of fries and a good ball game. What a great combination. And this has been a fun one to watch. We hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. It's the Blue Jays 3, the Red Sox 1, bottom of the 8th inning. Manny Del Carmen is the new pitcher for the Red Sox.
Del Carmen's numbers are excellent. 2-1 with a 241 earned run average. He's the king of the no decision, Jamie. He has had 212 career relief appearances and he has 8 decisions.
Here's a fly into left field. Bay is there and puts away Overbay.
But his numbers are very good and he's a very valuable pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. He's a 6th inning guy, 7th inning guy, maybe not a true setup man, but his numbers are very good. And John Lester's numbers are pretty good. 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, just 3 earned runs given up in 5 hits.
And a season high 4 walks, Pat. 2 of those walks came around to score for the Blue Jays.
And if you're going to be matched up against Roy Halladay, those are good numbers, but you've got to be a little bit better.
Alex Rios now is 1 for 2. Base hit to right field, his second knock of the game. And maybe Alex Rios is starting to heat up a little bit.
He's been aggressive early in the count, which is good to see. He's hitting the ball hard all over the field, which is good to see. Fastball down and away. He doesn't try and pull it, stays right over the top of it. There's another run sitting out there that's always important against the Boston Red Sox. So I don't anticipate Rios staying at first base very long.
He's already stolen 1 base today.
Well, he
in
had
fact,
2.
in theory, he's stolen 2, but
Yeah.
1 was called back on
That's right.
umpire's interference. The pitch from Del Carmen is high. And if Rios is thinking about going, certainly it's a little easier now that there's a right-hander on the hill.
Del Carmen does a good job of varying his move to the plate. That time he held the ball a really long time. He might quick pitch him. He doesn't have a very high leg kick. Also, that makes it tough for you to try and steal again.
Over 36,000 have come to the ballpark today to watch the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. A handful of them are important members of various front offices from teams like the Phillies, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Angels. Rios breaks from first. It's fouled back by Millar. We've seen Gord Ash from the Milwaukee Brewers. We've seen Pat Gillick here this weekend. And the attention is squarely on Roy Halladay, who has pitched tremendously today.
Saw Theo Epstein, the general manager of the Boston Red Sox here.
You cannot pick up a newspaper in a contending city without seeing a list of players a certain columnist thinks their team should give up to get Roy Halladay, if in fact Halladay is to be traded. Here's a weak grounder to third, picked up by Youkilis. He goes to second and then off to first for an inning-ending double play. 8 have been played, and the Blue Jays lead it 3-1.
to GM Ruben Amaro in Philadelphia, as well as representatives from the Chicago White Sox. I don't know if you hit those guys as well, but Kenny Williams has a pretty good affiliation with this organization as well, and everyone with their eye on Doc. You know, Pat, I find it kind of funny. You come here to scout Roy Halladay, but you'd have to think by now everyone pretty much knows what this guy has.
Yeah, everybody does. He's an ace. He's a stud. He's intense. Of course he can help.
Ortiz hits it high and deep to right field, but it stays in the park for Jose Bautista. One away here in the 9th inning. Well, the Chicago Tribune today was saying, do they give up Alexi Ramirez and John Danks? And papers in LA were saying, could the Angels let go of Jared Weaver and Brandon Wood? And what about the Dodgers? Clayton Kershaw, Matt Kemp. Scenarios abound.
Yes, Texas, they've got a lot of good young players. Justin Smoke and Neftali Feliz. Derek Holland.
As Paul Beeston has stated, if you're going to make an offer, it better blow us away.
And it better be like what Texas did last year when they unloaded Mark Teixeira. Saltalamacchia, they got Feliz in that deal. They got 4 other players that really restocked their farm system.
Elvis Andrus. 1-1 on Jason Bay. Now a ball and 2 strikes. A victory here by the Jays would secure the series victory, 2-1. And that is progress after a terrible road trip to begin the end of the first half. They went out on the road and won just 2 games in a 10-game spread. But Roy Halladay, the way he's going, has given them a hold on perhaps a series victory here.
Yeah, and it stops Boston. The Red Sox have won 6 straight series.
That said, these are the Red Sox, and this is only a 2-run lead. 2-2. Little pop-up. And here is Barajas right in front of the Red Sox dugout, out number 2.
Ain't nothing wrong with that hamstring. The last couple of innings from Ron Barajas. He went in front of the Blue Jays dugout last inning to get a pop-up. And here in the 9th inning goes hard in front of the Red Sox dugout to get that pop-up.
They begin to rise in Toronto. 36,000 strong have witnessed Roy Halladay in a masterful effort against the Boston Red Sox. Ball 1 to Ellsbury. Halladay's career record, 141 victories and just 69 losses. He's won more than twice as many games as he's lost. And oh yes, 43 complete games. At a time in baseball where the complete game is really a part of history.
He does it economically. That was just pitch 100 here with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Good point. 2-1. Now 3-1 on Ellsbury.
Ellsbury is tough to fan. One of the hardest in the American League. Strikes out just 1 every 11 plate appearances. Halladay is 1 strike from getting him.
Here's the 3-2, and he got him! A strikeout of Jacoby Ellsbury, and Roy Halladay, a complete game win, takes his 11th of the year, and the Blue Jays take 2 of 3 from the Boston Red Sox.
Doesn't that feel good when you throw your ace out there to win a series and Halladay pitched like that? so